All right, guys, welcome in, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to get right into this. I'm speaking directly to all the law enforcement officers out there. Imagine being a law enforcement officer, police officer, waking up every single day, kissing your wife, your husband goodbye, your kids goodbye, putting on that badge, having pride, driving into work, punching in, patrolling the city, protecting your state, having pride that you're doing something. Does everybody out realize that could be your last day ever going home, of ever seeing your husband, your wife, or your kids? Law enforcement officers in this country are heroes, and yet they're treated like dirt. They're treated like crap. If you are a law enforcement officer, how does it feel if you are in a Democratic-run city knowing that the Democrats hate you? That's right, the Democrats hate you. They don't care about your safety. They don't care about law and order. They don't care about holding people accountable. They actually care more about the criminals. They care more about the criminal's safety than they do your own. How does that make you feel if you are a law enforcement officer? Knowing that you put your life on the line every single day. Every time you do a traffic stop, it could be your last. You have no idea in America. That is how bad our streets are. And yet you have ICE officers doing their job, getting these illegal immigrants off the street, and yet they're attacked, brutalized, assaulted every single time. Now, we're going to get into some clips. We're going to see New York and what happened over in New York last weekend. And I got to tell you, the Democrats went absolutely insane. Assaulting law enforcement, pushing law enforcement officers, throwing stuff in the middle of the street. You know, we're going to look at some clips of Jasmine Crockett and the lunatic she is. We're going to look at some stuff from Nancy Pelosi and J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. Imagine all you're asking for, you're a police officer, is just, I want to make sure I'm cleaning up my city. I'm cleaning up my state, getting criminals out of here, putting them behind bars. And yet when I put my life on the line every single day, I'm called a Nazi. I'm called racist. I'm called Gestapo. I'm called a thug. Not the criminals that I'm arresting, me, the person who's putting on a uniform trying to protect you. That's how law enforcement are treated. So let's just get into this clip real quick. And we're going to see how New York Democrats went absolutely insane for a lawful conduct when it comes to this illegal immigrant operation. ICE came out, did a raid, took some people in. The New York Democrats, the city went insane. Let's just look at this. Imagine these police officers right here. All they're trying to do is just make sure the vehicle behind them is safe. People aren't throwing stuff. Look at the officers, what they have to deal with every single time there's an ICE raid. First off, look how polite these police officers are. Every single one of these people should be pepper sprayed, should be thrown on the ground, should be arrested. They're just pushing people aside. They're just moving stuff out, all the obstructions out the street so these vans and these cars can get by. Look how insane these people are. Just blocking traffic, just assaulting law enforcement. And this is something that happens in America, and the Democrats condone it. They make it seem like it's okay. These law enforcement officers are putting their lives on the line every single day and have to deal with these lunatics in the middle of the street, throwing stuff at cars, assaulting officers, and yet the police are saying that, hey, you're being too aggressive. That's the Democratic side. You're being too aggressive. They should be. Look at all these people in the street. Look at all these losers in the middle of the street right now. Every single one of these people should be thrown on the ground and arrested. These people are just doing their jobs, conducting a legal ICE raid, getting illegals off the street. That's what we voted for. Why are illegals here in the first place? Why? Because guess what? This is what's going to happen. The black people vote for Democrats 80%, 85% of the time, every election cycle. The Democrats know that the black people, they've already solidified their vote. They don't have to work for that vote anymore, okay? All you do have to cry racism and black people are going to vote for you. Now they need a new voter base. That is why Joe Biden and Kamala Harris opened up the floodgates and allowed all these illegal immigrants to come over. And now Democrats are mad because they're losing their voter base. They're losing their power because guess what? Illegal immigrants know that they have to vote Democrat because conservatives would never give them any benefits. This is why the Democrats are so mad. They don't want illegal immigrants out of the country, no matter if it puts Americans at risk, kicking them out of work, their safety on the line every single day. They want illegal immigrants to stay in here so they have a new voter base. That is why you see every Democratic major city pushing to get rid of voter ID. They don't want voter ID because they want illegal immigrants to stay here and vote Democrats so they can stay in power. Look at this guy over here. Just throwing a pallet right in the middle of the vehicle. This is insane that this is happening in America. And of course, the Democrats don't say anything. They think it's okay to put law enforcement lives in jeopardy. They think it's okay. They don't think there's anything wrong with it. Speaking of elected officials, let's talk about Jasmine Crockett. Let's see what she has to say, because she, on the other hand, is blind to the fact that, unfortunately, in America, black people are 30% of the population and commit a lot of crimes, but yet she keeps saying that the greatest threat to democracy in America are white supremacists. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is anybody afraid? Does anybody think that a white man with a hood or with Nazi tattoos are just going to attack them? Does anybody think that? Does anybody wake up like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't get attacked by a Nazi today? Who thinks that? But that's something that the Democrats are trying to push instead of saying, hey, look, we have problems in the black community. Let's figure out how to stop it. So let's just see what Jasmine Crockett has to say about ICE.
Immigration enforcement.
The idea that someone ran and said that I will get rid of the bad guys, yet we know more than 50% of the people that are currently being detained in custody have no criminal records at all. Zero, nada. So tell me why you are taking those people out of their communities. They are our neighbors. They are our friends. And frankly, they contribute to the fabric of this country. They are what make this country great, not your thuggish ICE agents.
No, illegal immigrants don't make this country great. What makes this country great are hardworking Americans, middle-class Americans. That's what makes this country great, not illegal immigrants who shouldn't be here in the first place. This is something that she's obviously upset about because, again, illegal immigrants vote in elections, and she knows that illegal immigrants are getting out of the country, and that's more of a voter base that's not going to vote Democratic.
Joining us now is the person you just heard, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. She also serves on the House Oversight Committee. She's a busy lady. I want to hear about the stories that you heard when you were on the ground in Los Angeles for this hearing that we just teased, about the stories that immigrants, I imagine some who are not U.S. citizens and some who actually might be U.S. citizens, and what they had to tell you guys.
Yeah, so first of all, we heard the story of a U.S. citizen who was on her way to work. And as she tried to tell them, listen, I'm a U.S. citizen, they would not listen. And she was taken into custody. We also heard about just the conditions, the horrific conditions that human beings are being kept in, the unsanitary conditions. But here's the reality. We went to L.A. I've been to Chicago to hear stories about, how much force is being used when people are being detained.
Understand, she can just say whatever she wants right now. Jasmine Crockett is so full of crap. She's just making up whatever it is and make ICE officers look like bad guys. That's all she's doing. She's just pulling stuff out of her ass right now.
But, I can go right home. And I know the stories of my constituents. I know about a young lady who's only 21 years old and had consistently showed up to her appointments, and she was nabbed at one of those appointments. Her family said, make sure she's got her diabetic medication. They tried to give it to them. They would not take it. Ultimately, 5 days later, when they didn't give her medication, they had to take her to a hospital. They then put her back into custody, and ultimately there were issues with literally, I won't get so graphic, but involving urine and some other things.
Feel free to get graphic.
Well, there were allegations that because they were actually depriving them of water, that they literally were having to drink their own urine.
This is how far we've gone now. We hate law enforcement and ICE officers so much that now we're going to make up stories saying that they're being deprived of water and being forced to drink their own urine. This is how lunatic the Democratic Party is. AOC and Jasmine Crockett, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, they just are the worst people. Now people are drinking their own urine. This is what's being told in the media. An appointed elected official saying people are drinking their own urine. She's got to be ashamed of herself.
This can't be America. But obviously in Trump's America, this is exactly what he wants. And the idea that one person can get out of line and commit such a horrific crime as shooting two National Guardsmen that never, ever asked to be here. In fact, we know the young lady that lost her life specifically, we're saying that this is a waste of time.
No, they didn't ask to get shot by an illegal immigrant. They served their country and they signed up willingly. Nobody put a gun to their head. They signed up willingly to be a National Guard officer. They didn't ask to be deprived of life and be killed by an illegal immigrant. That's what you're missing, Jasmine.
But now you want to go against every single immigrant. That doesn't make sense. And it's frankly not who we are, because if that's the case, let's talk about the white supremacists and how many of them need to be kicked out of this country, because I can guarantee you I can track down more crimes that they've committed, because overall immigrants.
Here we go again. White supremacy talk. My gosh, when is it going to stop? When are Black Democrats going to stop blaming white people? White supremacy is not an issue in America. What is she talking about? She says she wants to kick out white supremacists. If you want to compare crime right now, okay, we can then say that Black people are committing way more murders by population and percentage than white people. But yet she cannot admit that, because, again, that's her voter base. She can't admit that. So she has to put the blame on white people and white supremacists. Again, nobody in America is saying, man, you know what? I hope I don't get attacked by a Nazi today. Man, I hope someone from the KKK doesn't kill me. Nobody says that. But yet Jasmine Crockett, again, with all the Democrats, hate white people. And all of a sudden it's white supremacy. We need to kick white supremacists, not the illegal immigrants. No, they can stay. They are good, hardworking people. They can stay. I know they came across the country illegally, but they can stay. It's the white supremacists we need to fear. The Democratic argument. They hate white people, especially the minority ones. AOC, Ilhan Omar, Jasmine Crockett, they don't like white people. Clearly, you can see by them being just very racist. Nobody in America is afraid of a white supremacist stack. Nobody. I'm sorry. Nobody in America is. Nobody in America is thinking that the KKK is going to beat down their door and just kill them. But this is what Jasmine Crockett fears, because she is a Democrat and she can't tell the truth. She can't say, hey, look, you know what? In our Black community, they're committing a lot of murders at a higher rate than white people right now. She can't say that because that's her voter base, and then she'll be called a coon or a bootlicker like me. But again, we're not here to worry about feelings. We're here to tell the truth. And the truth is right now, Americans, take a poll, are way more afraid of a Black man with a gun than they are about a white supremacist attack. But again, she can't say that. So let's just see Nancy Pelosi. You know, Nancy Pelosi, what does she have to say about this whole situation?
Working without pay rather than the criminals out on the streets. Nancy Pelosi saying this: our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law and if they are convicted. The president cannot pardon them. And former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot out with this take.
We start the process of unmasking the agents. Even though they're wearing masks, every single one of them has a towel.
You say unmasking, they're going to say you're going to dox them, and that's why threats against them are up.
They are on public property, out in the open. Height, weight, hair color. They wear their vests in a particular way. They're wearing insignias. Even the masks that they wear, the shoes that they wear, the cars that they're driving. We have a right to compile that information.
She has a right to compile that information. You know what's going to happen when they start compiling information against ICE agents? They're going to dox them. They're going to put their faces all on the media, online. They're going to find out their wife. They're going to find out their husband. They're going to find out their kids. They're going to get viciously attacked online. People are going to show up to their house. Why do you think they wear masks in the first place? So you don't put their information online. So you don't take pictures of them and all of a sudden it's at their kids' schools and all of a sudden they get attacked at their house. This is what Democrats are trying to do. Again, they hate law enforcement. They don't care about law-abiding citizens or law-abiding officers. They don't care about that. They want criminals. They care about criminals because, again, criminals are going to vote Democratic because Democrats are, for whatever reason, sympathetic to criminals. We on the conservative side do not care. There is no justification for you stabbing somebody, no killing somebody or whatever like that. If you do that, you stab or kill an innocent person, I don't care if your dad wasn't around. I don't care if your mom was a drunk. You deserve to go to prison, period. End of story. That's it. We don't care about your sob story, about your dad was a drunk and beat you. It doesn't matter. That doesn't give you the right to attack and kill people. But Democrats can't say that.
And put together a profile of each of these agents.
Meanwhile, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker had this to say to Fox's Brett Baer.
If you're an ICE agent and you do these things, we think you ought to be held accountable. The problem is who's holding the bad ones accountable? Because the bad ones, frankly, are the ones that we're seeing all the time.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did JB just say we want to hold ICE agents accountable? Did JB, the governor of Illinois, just say we want to hold ICE agents accountable? What about the criminals? What about the black criminal that killed Rana Zaruska, the Ukrainian woman that fled Ukraine, was sitting on a bus and got killed by the black guy. And then when he stabbed her, he walked away and said, I got that white girl. What about that guy? Are we holding him accountable? What, all the illegal aliens that are coming over here committing crimes, the illegal Afghan that came over here and shot National Guard servicemen and women, are we holding them accountable? Why is it always the people that are putting a uniform on and a badge that are protecting the city and protecting our streets and protecting us, making sure that we're safe? Why do they have to be held accountable 24/7? Why is it not the criminals who are out there committing crimes? It's just something that I don't understand. If you're a law enforcement officer and you go to, for instance, I'll use my city, Nashville, completely Democrat. Don't care about law enforcement. We have this woman right now, Afton Bain, who's saying that we should defund the police. Police are racist, just like Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani, who's now going to be the mayor of America's largest city, has said that police are racist. We need to defund police. Imagine just waking up and putting on a badge and trying to protect the city, and that government doesn't support you. Let's look at New York one more time. We're going to look at another video of New York City last week of a legal ICE raid and how this city absolutely went off.
Step back. Ice out of New York! Ice out of New York! Ice out of New York! Throw it! Ice out of New York!
I'm behind you. Move back. Yeah.
All this stuff the officers have to deal with. All this stuff the officers have to deal with. Every single one of these officers right now are in jeopardy. They're just outnumbered. They're just making sure other law enforcement officers are safe. And they have to deal with people throwing stuff in the middle of the street, pushing law enforcement officers, spitting on them. This is insane what they have to deal with.
Move back! Move back! Move back! That way! Back! We'll tell you the direction.
action. Move back. Move back.
It's pathetic right now. You know, you got a lot of people defending all these people. You got a lot of people right now that are hating law enforcement. And I'm not even talking about elected officials, because clearly AOC and Ilhan Omar, Jasmine Crockett, we all know that they hate officers. We all know that they hate law enforcement. We get that. But so many people on the left seem to think, for whatever reason, that it's okay to commit crimes. It's mind-blowing to me that we can't hold everybody accountable, and we have to make excuses for why people are committing crimes. It doesn't matter your excuse. It doesn't matter about your family background, or you're not going to school, or whatever the case may be, whatever excuse that you come up with. All that matters is you killed this person, you stabbed this person, and you deserve to go to prison, period, or the death penalty, 100%. That's it. There's too many liberal judges out here. And guess what? If you're a citizen and you vote Democrat, and your elected officials are telling you that law enforcement are Nazis and pigs and Gestapo and all this stuff, that's a call to action to me. If you're a Democrat and you're a lunatic and you're believing all this nonsense, you're going to take matters in your own hands and you're going to do something. And that's unfortunate, because law enforcement, again, are our heroes, and they deserve to be safe, and they deserve to protect our city, and they deserve to have representatives that are going to have their back every single day and make sure they're safe. And the representatives that don't have their back and call for the police to be defunded should be ashamed of yourself. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out of here.